Well, hey everybody. I want you to know that this is the after cleaning the porch all day and mowing 2 lawns and out of the shower, no makeup. But I got to make this for you tonight because I'm making this for us and I had to make this video. So please forgive me. This is just me unplugged. Let's just say that. So what I've got here, what we're going to make tonight is steak pizzaola. It is fabulous. To all of my friends from the Northeast, you know it's good. To all of my friends from the Midwest and the South and everywhere else, it is good. Just, you have to try it. It's not hard at all, and it's a great thing to do with a ribeye. So what we're doing is, we're going to start, and I've got my pan getting warm here. Olive oil. This is my Costco olive oil. Love it. Need to replace it, actually. So it's about 2 tablespoons, but you know what? Kind of 2 turns, and I tell you the honest truth, it's about what's in there. So we're just going to go with what's in there. But it's about 2 tablespoons. So you want to put that in your pan and let that start getting warm. And then here is my steak. And if you will remember the other day, we froze steaks. So this is one of my ribeyes. It's a boneless ribeye. So what I'm going to do with it is I am going to salt and pepper it. Just da-da-da-da. Salt, pepper, and I can't cook a steak. It's not possible without using a little garlic. So this is granulated garlic. You've heard my spiel on garlic powder and all that kind of stuff. So now I'm telling you, if you follow these directions, and I know I'm pushing my glasses up, and for all of you who are concerned about my glasses, know that I'm going to the eye doctor next Thursday. So they're in the works. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in here. We're gonna brown it for 3 minutes on each side. So I'm gonna put this in, seasoned side down. There we go. And all we're doing is searing this steak. So I am actually going to set a timer. Maybe timer 3 timer. There we go. You would think this would be easier than this. 3 minutes. There we go. And now that it's down here, I'm going to season the other side. Salt, pepper, and a little granulated garlic. That's all to your taste. So as that cooks and does its 3 minutes thing, I'm going to be over here and I'm going to be chopping a few things that are going to go in the sauce that goes on top of this. This is so good. So peppers. Now, if I had jalapeno peppers, I would use them because we like spicy. But these are just those little mini sweets. And so all I did was cut the top off, cut the ribs out. See, just cleaned them. And now I'm just cutting them into strips. And I wanted to just be able to show you, and while this is cooking, let's get this heat going a little bit. I'm going to show you that we're going to chop up the peppers, and then we're going to chop up some onion, and we're going to chop up a mushroom. Now, I'll tell you about mushrooms. My husband's not a fan, but it's not a taste thing for him, it's a consistency thing. He doesn't like the consistency of it. He says it feels like a dish sponge in his mouth. So, but he doesn't care if I cook with them. And what I do is I just leave them really big so he can take them out and put them on my plate. So, I will tell you, I have been so busy this week, which is why you haven't seen much of me. My porch has been, the whole pollen, the whole winter thing, and I've been gone so much that this has been my first opportunity to get out there and clean it. And when I do that porch, do it once a year to start the season. I mean from top to bottom. And I do the ceilings and I do the walls and I do every surface in that porch. But I decided that I wasn't gonna do it all in one day this year because, you know, that kind of breaks me. So, and I'll tell you, this recipe, as far as your steak goes, doesn't matter how you like your steak, whether you like it rare, whether you like it well. If you listen to the directions and do as the directions say, I'm telling you, it'll come out perfect. So now, you know how I tell you about my onion. So, okay. So now, the end of my 3 minutes. So let's cancel that. And flip it. Come to mama. Ooh, looks good. Reset this timer for another 3 minutes. And what we're going to do is, once the second 3 minutes is up, we're going to take it out and put it on a plate. Then we're going to make the sauce. Then we're going to put it back in there for just a few minutes to finish it off. So, as I always tell you, here's my onion, which I've already peeled. I cut off root end, and then cut it in half this way. For this one, I'm not going to dice it. I'm going to leave it more in half rings. So I'm just going to slice it thinly. And I'm only making one steak because that's a pretty good sized steak. I'm serving this, and then of course it has all of the vegetables here, and I'm serving it over pasta. So one steak is plenty for me and my husband. You do you. If you've got bigger eaters, you can do this. Certainly with 2 steaks, you just brown one off first. Obviously make sure you got enough room in your pan to hold 2 at the end, just to submerge it down into the sauce. Okay. All right, so that's my onion and that's my pepper. Here are my mushrooms. Now here's the scoop on mushrooms too. I did take the stem out. I wash my mushrooms. So lots of people say if you wash your mushrooms, it's going to make them tough. Okay, that's fine with me, but I can't do dirt, and they always have dirt on them. So I rinse them. I don't soak them, but I definitely rinse them. So you do you. I'm going to cut these in big pieces so that my husband can pick them out. Easy enough. That's 47 seconds. And then finally, I have 4 cloves of garlic. I have a garlic smasher. Not everybody does, but you can use the size of a knife. If you have your knife, take the garlic, put it on its side, and just pop it. And when you do that, the skin will pop right off. Of course, you know, I have a garlic smasher. But, you know, it works the same exact way that the knife does. It's just a doodad. And you see how easy that all comes off of there? All right. And we're done. Turn that off. Turn that off. Let me get a plate. Okay. I'm taking this out. I'm putting it on this plate to hold it. Okay. Okay. We're going to reduce, well, actually I turned the heat off a little bit. I'm going to add my garlic, which I'm going to give this just a rough toss, or a rough chop. And what I'm actually kind of essentially doing here is I'm flavoring the oil. with the garlic. So in it goes. And in goes everything else. Everybody in the pool, so to speak. Turn you down a little bit. We're going to let these brown up just a little minute, or saute up actually, I should say. I don't really want them to brown. But while that's all happening, what did I do with mine? Here we go. So let's get them nice and covered. Very pretty, isn't it? Okay, so you do your thing. And I'm going to continue to add here. So now we're going to add pepperoni. And what does the recipe say? Actually, half a stick, I think is what it says. I think is what it says. So I have it in the bag. So I'm going to say, depends on your stick, doesn't it? Here we go. And I'm going to give this a rough chop. I stacked them all up. Sorry if my hands are in the way. I'm trying to be quick because, you know, it's been a long day. So I'm cutting them in quarters. And in that goes. So here's the stack. I'm going to cut it this way. I know it's hard to see. But I do my best. And I know that this angle is a tough one because my hand is always in the way. But I'm cutting them in quarters. And like I said, I'm just trying to do something quick for y'all tonight. So now we've got pepperoni, mushrooms, onions, and peppers in here. And this is, and garlic. And this is in the same grease or oil, I should say. I'm going to set the timer on this one for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to let this cook, and now I will get back to you in just 3 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes, and you can see what those peppers and onions look like. They look scrumptious and delicious is what they look like, and they smell heavenly. To that, now we're going to add, it says a 28-ounce can. Is that what it says? 28? Yeah, 28-ounce can of tomatoes, fire roasted tomatoes. But these are the tomatoes that I put up this past summer, and they're my tomatoes. So they're really good. Turn you down a little bit. So we're going to add that in there. Oh my goodness, these are the best tomatoes ever. I'll actually show you how to do that this summer when the tomatoes come in if anyone is interested. It's not hard. Time consuming. Definitely time consuming, but not hard. So now we've got tomatoes in here. And we're going to add a half a cup of red wine. You've heard me say this. I use these things all the time because when I'm done, if I've used what I need to use, just put the screw top back on it and back in my pantry. So I'm going to add that in there. And I'm going to let this cook enough. And then actually, the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of red pepper flake. We love spicy. So 1 teaspoon of red pepper flake or not, depending upon what you like. So, and then finally, it wouldn't be Italian without a little oregano. This is not Sprite. This is just what I keep my oregano in. And you've heard me say this before. I always crush it with the heel of my hand. Years ago, I don't even remember which one it was. Whether it was Mary Batali or whether it was Rachel. Don't know who told me that, but I've done it ever since. So we're going to let this cook for about 5 more minutes, just so it can all come together. Let that alcohol cook off just a little bit. And then we're going to put the steaks back in here. So I'll be back in just a few. Okay, and now we're ready to put the steaks back in. But I want you to, and this is cooked about 6 minutes, I would say. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? I'm telling you, this is delicious and simple. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my steak. I'm going to slide it back in here. Get it underneath all that goodness. And I'm going to put a lid on it. I am going to set my timer. I'm going to try to set my timer anyway, let's say, for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Start. And if you cook it for 3 to 4 minutes, it will be rare. If you cook it for 5 to 6 minutes, it'll be medium rare. And if you like it more well done, 10 to 12 minutes will get you medium well. If you trust those times, your steak will be perfect, I promise you. So mine's gonna come out of here at 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So I'll be back to you in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, so we're done, and here it is. And you see that meat? That's how we like it. We like it on the more rare side, but like I said, your cooking times, as I will give you in the recipe, will be perfect if you just trust that. But of course I topped it with a little parm and put it over egg noodles. But guys, this is delicious. I hope you try it. Have a great evening. Good night.